Oh, my name is Deb Andersen, and the name of my show is The Wimmin Show, and I've been doing it since 1984 when I first moved to Lincoln from Madison, Wisconsin. I was thinking about moving here, so I really wanted to know if there was another community radio station just like WRT from Madison. They've been around for a while. They got a lot of community support. They had just bought their own building and had pretty expansive studios and pretty, at that time and place, pretty modern equipment. And when I came here, I think KZUM was sort of just beginning to get, it hadn't a permanent home at that point in time. The equipment wasn't as updated as I was used to, so it was sort of like starting in the beginning for me. It was kind of a hard adjustment, I think, being used to having all that luxury, which it seemed like luxury at the time at WRT. I think it really was like, this is women's only radio, this is our audience, it's just going to be women. We're going to play lesbian music and music just by women performers, and it wasn't very inclusive of a lot of different parts of the community. And me, I was a little bit more like, you got to know what you're doing ahead of time, and you should have some focus on what you're doing, and maybe have some guests on and live music. So I sort of brought that whole interest of being a little bit more professional, I guess. And I guess any way I can put it, it's just making it more listenable. I just had a focus, which is, where I'm coming from. And the focus, what I wanted to do, and I instilled that with the other people that were doing the show at the time. I just think we became more inclusive of the community at large, and I started playing really diverse music of all genres, not just women's produced, women-only stuff. It could have men in it. It didn't really matter as long as the women was the focus. So we've got 4 segments that we do on a monthly basis between 12:30 and 1, but it brings in a whole different kind of experience and information. That's what she wrote with Cinnamon Dockin, owner of the Novel Idea Bookstore. That started a couple of years ago, and that was a fabulous show. She does a lot of topics. It features women and men writers or people who are familiar with certain topics that she discusses and talks about the books that relate to that topic, like women in politics and children's books, all sorts of things. That's What She Ate. That's the most recent half-an-hour segment, and that's Deb Higuchi who does that show, and that she features kind of food in the Lincoln area and different people who are familiar with ethnic cuisine and different farmers market. This is such a privilege, such a gift, I'd say, to the community to have a station like KZUM. We have this great studio now. It's big. You can set up like as big as band as you want, I think, in that studio that we have now, which is so much better than in the terminal building when we had this little tiny space. And I remember we had to move band into the other room and run chords because there just wasn't enough room. It was just a little wall that you'd have to have somebody, perform. And now I go back to WRT. Now this is I think we're as good as any community radio station in the country or in the world. I love it. I hope to keep doing it for as long as I can still talk and still sit upright and still have my stuff together. I plan on being here. I'm not going anywhere.
So when you ask me where I